So we will call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting of Monday, May 8th, 2023. So present, we have Chris Marino, Chris Duback, and also in attendance, Joel Trepchek. So first thing, it looks like we can go ahead and take a look at the minutes from October 10th, 2022.
Active on Zoom.
Okay, and it looks like we also have Josh Tech with us on Zoom. So we are reviewing the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 10th, 2022 minutes as written.
Yeah, check this thing.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried. Now, do we have, I'm sorry, let me look at this one first. Do we have any public comment on agenda items?
Just something simple, since all the other ones, all the first things are just renewals of license. I was wondering if we could skip down to the D, E, F, and G. Which River Edge is here for that, Marty's here for the ATV club, and then I can speak about the Somerset United.
Okay with that?
Got a motion?
I'll make a motion to move B, or I guess it'd be D, E, F, G to the front, or before new business.
Yeah, check this thing.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. So we're starting with D, said discussion, possible recommendation, IRB park license to use Village Park, River's Edge. And that would be a statement.
That's me. So obviously a little bit different for us this year with the bridge and some changes in past few years. We have our tubers feed the tubes and then we bring cross. Obviously we can't do that this year, so our plan would be to maybe post or not post, but leave the wagons on the other side of the river, so they carry them over the footbridge. Then we'd have them there. I just haven't looked at that close enough. What our turnaround there would be, that would be the only change I would have, I would think.
I missed it. You're gonna have them turn around.
Just our wagons that would be on the other side of the footbridge.
I gotcha. In Village Park?
Well, it would be on the property that would be on the south side of the bridge and the east side of the river.
You have any concerns with that, Joel?
No, I just know that driving down on that emergency access is kind of tough to.
That's why I said that's the turnaround. I gotta look at that, so.
It likes to wash out, and oftentimes our squads are up on 3 tires. One comes off the ground, just trying to get around the corner there.
So our plan is to probably do some of that and fix some of that. A year ago, or a little over a year ago, when we were purchasing that property, the county and the village and everyone, the clerks all thought, and we all thought, look, that property went to the bridge. And it showed that on the websites and all the maps and all that. Then in the title work, when they go all that ways back, they found the clerks had deeded or whatever, many years ago in the 40s, when the old bridge across the river there. Then when they abandoned that property by law is supposed to go back to the last landowner, similar like the old bridge did to the Raleighs, right? But for some reason, it got conveyed to the village. So we were gonna fix it at that time. But we didn't, and I'm far from attorney, I don't blame it on TV, but the whole riparian rights and whatever, so. Clerk just wanted to finish the transaction. Said, I'll do that, we'll get that land. Either I'll go through the attorney thing or I'll come before the village and do the dollar thing and swap it out or whatever, and then we'll fix it, but the clerks were the one who put in that walk path and all of that back in the day. I have all that paperwork to show all that, but we're talking 60s and 70s, and we didn't have a lot of computers and all that stuff, so. I know there's been some talk about how come we haven't picked up those trees and all that stuff, and that was just kind of why we're just waiting, to hopefully get that resolved. But, I mean.
Did Josh have anything to add at all?
I guess do we know what the construction going to look like for that intersection? I guess, is that going to be accessible or not for that down area? And then obviously, public safety wise, concerns that if we do have an incident down there, obviously that's going to be the most direct route to the Rapids area versus going all the way around the bridge. So just want to make sure that there's not going to be a bottleneck of vehicles and emergency services can get down there and stuff as well.
Yeah, obviously, good comment. I don't know. We seem to learn more about the bridge construction daily and weekly.
So if that.
I didn't even know until last week that they're gonna move the construction back and be eliminating our driveway there. So they have to put us in a temporary driveway a little bit more towards the Dick's Market. Okay. So that was just told to me last week. So yeah,
So I'm assuming if you couldn't get there, then.
Yeah, if we can't get there, we're not, they're
You'll
gonna
be
have
right
to.
at the, right where you get off, or where you get on the buses, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yep, leave them there and go out the new driveway. So to your point, Josh, yeah, we would make sure that it wouldn't impede any access or any safety concerns, of course.
You okay with this?
I think it looks good. I mean, yeah, my major concern was that whether you're going to get to it this summer or not.
And we're learning more as we find out, so.
We need to do it,
You need to make a recommendation.
I'll make a recommendation to bring it to the full board.
Josh Act, I second.
Any discussion? Okay, well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's also going to expire. I was going to mention that, so you'll need a new certificate.
Yeah, we always drop it off when we get to.
And it says town of Sudbury on
Yeah, might just report, or we got the wrong address on there,
Yeah.
so. we Get that updated. I think we did the same thing for them, so.
Yeah, yeah. I figured.
Okay, we can make that. So now we have discussion, possible recommendation, ATV use on village streets.
Well, Marty Hollow, president of Somerset ATV Club. Been kind of kicking this around for the last few years and hasn't really come to bringing to anybody's attention until now. But I don't know, I think the village has been open for going on 6 years now. I don't think there's been a handful of complaints here and there, typical typical teenagers on three-wheelers seem to be our biggest trouble, and we really haven't heard much of them in the last 8 months, 9 months, so. Basically, as Wisconsin evolves with ATVs and ATVs are becoming more frequent on highways and roads. Laws change and ordinances change, and it is now to a point in Wisconsin where it satisfies the villages, townships to not necessarily have to mark every single road that is approved and every road that's not approved. So we're looking at maybe pulling back our signage throughout the village and put signs on the surrounding village area. Just like you would see weight restriction signs in the townships. It'd be kind of the same way as you enter the village, it would say out there, all roads open to ATV use unless otherwise marked. The only road that we do not have marked, and I know it gets used because people just are used to driving it when their car, not realizing they're an ATV, is when we first got these roads open, the Spring Street, and then it turns into Sunrise. We never had that open. We always brought everybody through the truck route.
Yeah.
We've never heard a complaint about this road. I don't know if you guys have, if anybody's. So basically looking at just changing the wording to open up all roads, the village. It's not like we're gonna go out and advertise to everybody, go ahead and drive everywhere you want, because we still do not want the nuisance drivers. Somebody that is gonna drive back and forth to their neighbors 5-10 times a day. It's still the purpose of going from your house to the nearest ATV trail to get out of town. Unfortunately, the people on this side of the bridge are landlocked. They cannot get out during this construction. We're gonna bring up the topic of the snowmobile bridge, which is also a walking bridge for the tubers in the summer. I don't know if that's an option to get in and out of town. Otherwise, if it's possible to do that, we'd have to look at it. But I didn't realize that the construction was gonna last all summer. So if it's an issue, we need to look at weight, because some of these side by sides are 2,000 pounds. And
The side by
It's not
side.
very wide.
65 inches.
It's only like 36-inch bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Side by side doesn't fit.
if it's side by side doesn't fit, then we can't use it. So that end of discussion there. But basically just opening all the roads to the village.
I didn't have a problem. I didn't think Joel did either. You could probably, was it like a case by case basis?
Yeah, I mean, so this evolved a little bit to the ordinance changing to allow folks to go from their house to a trail.
Yeah.
That was last year, 2 years ago. We've included in our packet as what Hudson sign says, North Hudson Village streets are ATV routes unless posted, except State Highway 35.
Yep.
And I think it's an important distinction that under Wisconsin State Statute 23.33 sub 11 AM4, that villages can enact this. They can authorize use on village streets with the exception of a state highway with a speed limit in excess of 35 miles per hour.
Correct.
Which would include technically Highway 35, which goes past the fire station.
Yeah.
And then Highway 35, Churchill Road, north of
Laser.
Laser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that isn't, so. What is reading?
sounds like hail.
It's
So just past Quick Trip, when it turns 45, that would technically be the village limit. Or could they even go to the 64 driveway?
Well, 35 is actually that whole stretch in front of Quick Trip,
Right.
so. I don't know.
Even saying this, there's a speed limit on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes from 25 to 45, right at Quick Trip entrance there.
Yeah.
And then anything east of that. Yeah, there's a little blip in our jurisdiction. Like,
Well, that's,
so this is kind of like there's no
Yeah.
jurisdiction here. This is where the Somerset Town Hall is.
Got it.
Station, and then we pick it up again. So it's unique that the township's kind of landlocked there in between our jurisdiction. But you're right. I mean, when you look at what a village street is.
Yep.
I think the state maintains that area anyways,
okay,
for the county highway shop.
so that's pretty much, I don't know that. I know that they've gotten permission, especially like up north, to drive state roads even on where the speed limit is higher, but that's always a case by case, and it takes a long time to get it through. Not looking to do that by any means. So basically, we're kind of in a holding period until the construction's done. For anybody to get out of town, they got a trailer there, they're side by sides out of town. Cause we are landlocked south. Can't get across nowhere to get on that side of the township. And then everybody's landlocked by, basically from Rebar Stone over to the little gravel pit. Once they hit there, then they're landlocked, you know. Not gonna say people don't take it, cause they do. But 99.9% of the people are not out causing issues, they're just trying to get A to B. So yeah, so footbridge or the snowmobile bridge is out. There's really no way around, so I guess at this point it would just be looking to make it a surrounding marked trail system. I would just leave everything on Ride Command the same. I would just still funnel people through the truck route, just to keep people off these roads that normally weren't on, but if somebody lives down here, they can now get out. Again, I don't know that we've had that many issues, and the handful of issues I had were the same 3 kids, so. I don't know if they grew up or moved. You seen 3-wheelers around?
Yeah, I'm still around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the complaints are few and far between, and we address things on a case by case basis. Typically, it's some of the frequent flyers, but yeah,
I would, when construction is over, I would probably need the village to ask the state, because I don't feel comfortable marking any roads on the state highway,
sure.
how they would like us to post that section in front of Quick Trip to make it clear that there's no 4-wheelers allowed. But then, you know, it's the typical one person gets a ticket, the word goes around and nobody drives that road anymore. People drive it all the time, but when I see them, I'm not chasing somebody down to go. But there are people that use it and take it that fail to read the signs, but I don't know that it's clearly marked there except for on Ride Command.
Recently, we got some complaints, of people taking 35 all the way up past, not just,
Yeah,
we'll kick it out to the SO.
and I hope they get them. I want to see somebody get a ticket that loves to be on Facebook.
Right.
Cause it'll end right there.
Sure.
I hope it's a big,
Be nice if we could put some trails or something going out that way,
I
but
know, we need some landowners to donate land. That would be the easiest way. But too much value in land right now, but they don't make more of it. So that would be my ask to do, just like what North Hudson does in the surrounding area. It would be probably a half a dozen signs I would need. I would need time to purchase them. We need to have a fundraiser to, all of our money that we raise, I mean, we've raised thousands and thousands of dollars. We raised thousands of dollars here a few weeks ago, and we give every dime we raise, we give back to people in need, so. We'll have to have a extra side fundraiser just to afford the signs. But I think I can get them made through the county. I think they actually have a sign guy, otherwise we do have a connection. But with the road construction, I'm not in too much of a hurry to get everything posted. It would be just running it through you guys to see if it can get approved, and then we'll go from there.
I'll make a motion to recommend ATV use on village streets. bring it to the village board.
I'll second that. I think it's a lovely perk of being able to live in a community like this.
Yeah,
Any discussion?
Yes, I guess I'm definitely in favor myself. I do believe that there should be some conditions in regards to who should be operating on our roadways. So, as a village, employee in the village of North Hudson, for the police departments, we do have restrictions as to who can operate their ATV or UTV on our roadways. Pretty simple conditions. I think it's pretty fair and stuff. One of which is the operator must have at least liability insurance. The operator shall ride single file or on the right side of the road unless making a left turn. Also, no person may operate an ATV or UTV on any road in the village without a valid, I repeat, a valid Class D driver's license. And also, no person under the age of 18 may operate or ride an ATV or UTV without wearing a helmet approved by the Wisconsin for the purpose of riding an ATV or UTV. So I think those, at least at the very least, should be implemented as well in regards to opening up all the roadways in the village to ATV operation. And I think it's pretty fair and all that stuff. Obviously, we don't want somebody with 7 OWIs without a valid driver's license operating their ATV on our roadways, just going bar to bar to bar and then driving home with it. So I think that everyone should be under the same rules and regulations as someone operating on vehicles. So
Good
So
point.
our
That's-
ordinance.
that's my recommendation.
Our ATV ordinance currently has those regulations, maybe not the liability
perfect.
insurance one. But they do require a valid driver's license over the age of 16, the helmet, the, right on the far right of the road, all the stuff you mentioned besides, I think, the liability. Which we may want to look into, but I think, some of the language I saw proposed was just essentially eliminating the designated roads or the route in the ordinance is the only thing that would be omitted or changed from our current ATV ordinance.
Oh, gotcha. I misunderstood the assignment. I apologize.
You made some good points, Josh.
So when you mentioned the needing a valid driver's license, so currently I don't believe that's in our ordinance. So the state of Wisconsin ATV, UTV laws is, well, first of all, you must be 16 years old with a UTV, ATV license to operate a UTV on the roads legally. So anybody under the age of 16, from 12 to 16, will have a ATV license. And the way Wisconsin law states is, any rider from the age of 12 to 16 must be accompanied by a legal adult, as in it's supposed to be like your guardian or, it's not just a friend's dad or a friend's buddy that's 18. So throughout all the counties or all the county and all the village and townships that Somerset ATV controls. Because we helped get St. Joe's open, we do the village of Somerset, the township of Somerset, Star Prairie Township, Star Prairie Village, Richmond Township, and hopefully soon to be New Richmond, the city. We don't have any of those established that way so it's legal for a 12-year-old to ride with their parents following them in a 4-wheeler.
Oh, with a different vehicle.
In a 4-wheeler, they have to be they can't be in a car and their kid in a 4-wheeler behind them.
Okay.
They have to be in a ATV, UTV with the child behind or in front on the road. So I just want to be careful how we word this
I think
because
that's,
Number 2.
number 2. Right here.
also we did have that in there then. So the village of Somerset will be the only ones that have that written. So like in the Somerset Township,
Mhm.
a 12-year-old can ride on a four-wheeler with his dad who's on another four-wheeler
Okay.
anywhere, because it falls within how Wisconsin has theirs written.
Mhm.
I guess I'm not seeing anything where need a valid driver's license for the guy that has 5 DWIs that rides his
I see
wheeler
the,
around.
the helmet there. It's still working. Finally down.
So I guess on that subsection 2, utility trained vehicle operators shall be licensed drivers over the age of 16. When I
Oh,
think of licensed driver, I think that's beyond a safety certificate by the DNR. I think that's
I'm listening.
Like that?
it's the last sentence in sub 2 under
Yeah, and those, there's so much has changed over the last 5 years. To maybe. I'll look in Wisconsin's to see what's changed on this.
Because
Make sure
it's
it'll-
not uncommon for us to see folks that do have revoked driver status, multiple WIs. Like to go to the bars,
Right,
go to the bars, get liquored up, get arrested under a DNR violation opposed to a DOT violation. And it counts differently, it doesn't affect your insurance as much, you know what I mean, like,
right,
there's people that are using the system to kind of circumvent,
right,
driving.
right.
But I mean, that's again on a case by case basis, and then we also have different violations that we can address as well at that time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people that pay are the law abiding citizens,
Oh,
right?
yep,
Mhm. Just my rules.
yeah. But that guy going to the bar on his four-wheeler, he'll figure out another way to get to the bar on his four-wheeler. Or his lawnmower.
Lost his license over him and he drives tractor.
Tractor.
So I mean, it
Yeah.
happens, you
Mhm.
know.
No, I get it all wrong, we just,
I don't think-
Electric bicycles,
yeah,
Yep,
but that.
yeah, where do you draw the line, right?
so.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna have to bug out here, so I apologize.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Okay,
So you still have your motion and second. on the
yes,
table.
that's what I was just. Okay.
He did say he was for it. He just
Yeah.
mentioned those
Yeah.
other things.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so if we just say all in favor?
Mhm.
Okay, move on to the next. So we'll bring that to the village board to have them, we'll recommend approval for that. Okay, great. So now we have F, discussion possible recommendation, temporary Class C fermented malt beverages. Retailers license, June 10th and Thursday, June 15th through September 28th. For Somerset United.
F and G kind of go together for the request for the open containers. At the app meeting that we attended, there was a lot of discussion about White Bear Lake Market Fest and how well it does, getting people together, bringing vendors in, getting it's a big night every Thursday night for the community. And then I started thinking about, well, that's a great idea. How about if we did it like North Hudson or North St. Paul where they do the car show? Then it kind of started snowballing from there. I called Becky to see if she cared if the farmer's market that's normally at Apple River Liquor, if that moved downtown. She had no problems with it. I called Tom Peterson, who does the farmer's market. He thought it was a great idea, but he reached out to his vendors. They thought it was a great idea. And the thing is to add more vendors, add some food trucks, maybe some live music. So then my next call was to the chief here, and I thought it worked really well that time we shut down Main Street and did Santa on Main this year and directed traffic around through Francis Street. Worked out really well. Everybody's able to not worry about traffic on Main Street. And now with the construction and the bridge shut down, it's like the perfect time to have a car show, bike show on Main Street. have vendors in that lot there, and My Happy Place would have their vendor in their lot and talk to Rendezvous and Sportsman's. I know Rendezvous, they're talking about they'll have like a tent or something in their lot at those times. But it would basically, it would start the Saturday of Pea Soup Days. And that would go from 9 AM to 2 PM during the parade. So the parade starts at 11, goes till noon or so. But it'll be a place for people to gather. One or two food trucks, but more so on this one. There won't be a car show on that Saturday, just different vendors selling arts and crafts and things like that. Somerset United itself, it's a newly, well, I don't know if it's quite 100% formed, but there's Max Newhouse from Rodley Besker Bowls out of River Falls. He's setting up for us pro bono. He thought it was such a great idea for the community that he's doing it for free for us. And all the money that gets raised through Somerset United will all go back into the community for whatever needs the community needs. Whether it's money for banners, whether it's money to fix up Village Hall, police departments specifically. Things like that. And then through this nonprofit, we're also going to work with the Somerset Amphitheater because they need volunteers. So this way it would be a good way to get local community members involved with, all right, you work a 2-hour shift parking cars, and that way you get a free ticket to that show. And so you help the community and you get to go hang out at the events as well. And if I can speak of G2, the open container request, basically modeled this after River Falls. They're very active in different events, and they do a lot of things with open containers. And what they do there is they buy like a 12-ounce plastic chamber cup. So it says, Summers or River Falls Chamber on it. The person buys it for $3, and that lets them walk around from designated times during their open container times. That way, people aren't just bringing all their own beer and, stuff in. And then they also will get a paper wristband. So if they go into Sportsman, Rendezvous, or go to the nonprofit beer and wine station, they'll get ID'd. They'll pay for their $3 cup, and then they'll get their 21 plus wristband. And they can reuse the cup the following week if they want, or if they forgot, then they buy a new $3 cup.
What areas of the street are you talking about?
Basically be all around the front side of Sportsman's towards the library parking lot, and then on the other side of the road into My Happy Place parking lot and Rendezvous lot, kind of in that area.
Okay.
But I would say just be easier than, instead of trying to designate a certain area, you just say village streets during this time and this time.
Okay.
With Somerset United Cup.
Okay. So not necessarily,
In River Falls, they go from bar to bar to bar around the whole town. I mean,
Did you say village streets or main street?
village streets.
So I could be on, right, it's not even a part of that, as long as I have a cup, I can walk down the sidewalk.
In River Falls, there's 14, 15 bars on whatever, and people do the big loops. And
So are the bars going to participate in filling the cups? If you bring your cup in, you can.
yes,
Okay.
yep. We already talked to Ed Missy and Rendezvous and
a good opportunity to do specials or something.
And right now, Ed and Missy called me in a couple days ago, and they're like, with the bridge out, there's like, it's hurting. So like, he said, if it doesn't work, we'll go back to the drawing board. But right now, it's a way to try to bring people into town, and it's a positive thing for the community. And like I said, it's whatever. So right now on the board, it's me, Sri Link, My Happy Place, Scott here, that owns Pizza Planet, Shiloh Williamson, who's part of the CAP project, and Caleb Garn, who's now on the board, plus part of the CAP project, and so those are their board members right now. So as a board, we did whatever money comes in, we decide what's the best use for it for the village.
So by vote.
By vote, correct?
I think it sounds like a
So is
lot.
there like a time limit on that or anything like, I mean,
I
it's like all
think
day?
I
all
put
night?
it in the packet, but I think for June 10th, I think we said 9 AM to, well, the thing goes till 2 PM, but you don't want to just shut it down and at 2 PM you can't have whatever. I think did they put like 4 PM or 6 PM? I think
They're
for
going
the,
to take away from the Lions Club.
I talked to Dave Brock about it. He thought it was a great idea.
Okay,
He's like, bring whatever you want. He was actually his idea for us to do the vendors up there.
okay. So there is one problem. Which this was just brought to my attention today when Felisa was in. Your club has to be in existence for at least 6 months. So for that June 10th event, you'll have to have somebody else for the license. If you have
I
January
took,
13th.
I can run it through, I took the EIN out, January 23rd.
Okay, so
Is
6
that-
months
is
would be
that-
July 23rd.
Oh, yeah,
So you'll have to have for June, it'll have to be under a different,
with organization.
mhm.
Okay, that's not a problem. ATV club,
We're nonprofit.
perfect.
So you wanna maybe have a separate one? Have him fill out a separate one for those dates and then it'll just continue into, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And then, I think Joel, there for the day, for the Thursdays, when it goes from 4 to 8. I think we said like 4 to 10 for open containers or 4 to 11.
Yeah, I don't remember if we discussed the times or
Well, I
whatever.
think I sent something in on the packet, but I'm not. Is there something on the license itself?
The application actually says 4 to 10 or 4 to 8. I'm
4 to
sorry.
8.
4 to
Well,
8, yeah.
The thing goes from 4 to 8, but I'd hate to just shut off the opening containers. I think people, if they want to mill around and they want to go to Rendezvous back and forth to Sportsman's. But as far as us selling the beer and whatever, we'll be done right at 8. The nonprofit will be done, but if they want to still have open containers for an extra couple hours, I think that's better than. No, you can't, you did it till 8 o'clock, but you can't go back and forth to the bars for the next 2-3 hours or
I
whatever it
think
is.
10 o'clock is,
I think 10 is plenty, especially on a Thursday night. And then it's easy after 10 to be like, hey, who's ended at 10, and you'll have a couple of stragglers, maybe not too many.
I guess one of my concerns is the geographic location. I don't like the idea of people wandering everywhere. I like the idea of people all together, getting together for this fun event, but
And I don't think you'll have much of that. I think if anything, it'll be like some neighbors walking down together to the event. And
But when you do this, you're gonna be shutting them.
just the main street,
Okay,
just the main street,
up to Pizza Planet.
so that would make it a little bit easier, right?
I would
Cause that
say,
gets pretty busy. I totally see where it comes from there.
I would say to Garfield to see how it starts. Before we talked about Francis Street, before. But either, it just depends on how many people come. If we want them to. The main thoroughfare on Francis, and like Joel and I talked about, where they only park on one side of the road, whichever road we kind of really keep open. Just to keep it safer, so people are walking when they're walking across the street.
Yeah.
I guess, my thought would be Francis Street and have them only park on the west side of the road, so you can always see people coming in when they're crossing the road there.
is there a problem with the construction as it stands right now for people coming on from the north side of town to get to I over here, if you close from Garfield to the bridge,
No,
they're not gonna be able, or I'm sorry, Francis to the bridge, they're not gonna be able to get onto Depot.
yeah, they will.
You just
Talking
said
about
you're
restricted
closing.
parking.
You take a, when you go on Francis, you take a right and then a left on the depot. And then also
Francis, isn't that by Speedway?
Yeah.
So you take a left off of Francis onto Main Street and turn right
Oh, yeah,
into Depot.
yeah, left.
So if you're gonna close Main Street all the way to Francis, they're not gonna be able to get over to Depot. Right?
Well, I think you close past there at Garfield.
Okay. And then have parking on Francis.
Correct.
That's not what I heard the first time. So.
Yeah, no, I would misspoke, but, and I also, I talked to Somerset Amphitheater and starting at Pea Soup Days, they're going to open Amphitheater Avenue up. So traffic can go through that way and they don't even have to come into town that way, or as much into town.
So how will this work with Pea Soup Days? So this is basically starting at 2, going in.
No, with Pea Soup Days, it'll start at 9 in the morning. And it'll set up over there, food truck vendors or whatever can set up, from 7 to 9, and then after that, no cars are moving, except if you have like some fancy. Actually, no, we weren't gonna do a car show for that one. It's vendors,
Okay.
and that was, at the request of Dave Rock.
Not to do the car show that weekend?
No, just to do the whole thing, to do the vendors and get it going early and
Makes sense.
get more people to town.
Great.
So you guys gonna get a street use permit then for that section of Main Street? To shut her down?
You didn't have to.
Now you're in Public Works.
Cause that kind of helps guide.
Yep.
What, we do for when barricades go up and all that. But I do like the idea of maybe starting with Main Street open containers. And working our way, and like, let's try first year, get them in. I think Main Street's where all our businesses are, bars, I get people are likely gonna be walking from their houses to this event with their cups. I don't think we're gonna be harassing them because I don't know what's in that cup, they're walking from their house. I think restricting them to Main Street, which would be shut down with a street use permit. And the businesses, are there, they're able to walk from business to business, then. I just don't want. In the event that someone does get too sloshy and they start roaming around,
Yeah.
and they get hurt for whatever reason, I think from a village liability standpoint, like, while they were contained, this is what was authorized, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do agree with that, but I would also say, let's, do the 200 block of Spring Street, so when people are coming out the front door of Sportsman's, they're not like, hey, you're not on Main Street.
Yeah.
The 100 block of Spring Street by Rendezvous.
So like for Pea Soup Days, can you actually take a cup from Pea Soup Days and walk?
That would
I mean,
be,
that's
that would be the whole plan, that would be the idea.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And like for Pea Soup Days, we're only on that Saturday and we're only from 9 AM to 2 PM. After the parade's done, we'll break down and head down to the park anyway, so there won't be anything else going on. We'll just have either a DJ or a 1 or 2 man band or something with not loudspeakers and then that too,
Cause the parade is planning on going by Main.
by
Street.
Main Street, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be open for that.
That was here, right?
No, same, yeah,
Same as last year, but different than every other year.
Oh, okay.
Last year, they used to go all the way down and then go up Amphitheater Avenue. Or no, for Parnell stuff, but last year was Main Street.
and you're not planning on having vendors out during that time, at the time of the parade.
No, they'll be out, the vendors will set up between 7 AM and 9 AM.
Okay.
And then I'm guessing if we could shut the street down at like Main Street at like 10 o'clock before the parade, and that way people can kind of walk between vendors, and then once the parade, just open that street up, and then
So the vendors will set up on Main Street
the
or
vendors
on the
is
lot?
on the lot, on the 235 Main Street lot,
Mhm.
and Rendezvous lot, and My Happy Place lot.
Looks like you've done a lot of time.
Websites, putting boards together, Google Forms, Google Documents. Lots of calls to chief, and yeah, it's been a long time in the works, but I think it's gonna pay off for the community.
We're gonna try it. This is the year.
Yeah,
Do you want to recommend separately, on the temporary class B license until, on here it says June or January 13th is when it was organized.
okay,
So, from June 10th to July 13th. It'd be issued to the ATV, is that what it's called, the ATV club?
Somerset WI ATV Club.
And then the remainder of the time would be to Somerset United.
You just need your Ian.
If you give me your email, I can email you this form.
Yeah. It's Martin
Mhm.
dot HAUBLE@polaris.com. One thing rolled into another.
life, man, life in the fast lane.
Well, I will make a motion to approve to go on possible recommendation. This is just sorry, temporary class B fermented malt beverages retailers license from, then this would be, I need to list those two separately. You said June 10th through July 13th.
Yeah.
For the ATV club, and then the July, what's the next date then?
So it'd be the
September 20.
remainder of the day.
The remainder of the day to September 28th,
Yeah.
under Somerset United.
Just real second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we will also discuss in the discussion possible recommendation for the request for open containers for Somerset United.
Chris Monell second.
Did you make a motion? Was that a motion?
No.
Yeah.
I make a motion to
Okay,
approve that.
sorry.
That's just fine, and then you'll second?
Yeah.
And then discussion, work out the details?
Are you going to limit it? Like the chief suggested?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Do we have that verbiage
no,
not written out? Okay, so I think,
If I could, let's say for the Saturday, June 10th of Pea Soup Days. That event will go from 9 AM to 2 PM, but if we could have. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're already doing open containers at Pea Soup Days, right? And people kind of walk around Village Park, and
Yes, they walk around Village Park.
yeah, not on streets. Just the park.
so what would you like to see for that? Day, Joel, doesn't
Like
matter.
you said, the 200 block of Spring Street, the 200 block of Main Street.
That works from, I would say from 9 AM to 4 PM, so 2 hours after our event closes up.
Okay, on that Saturday.
And then for the remainder, for the Somerset Community Market Fest, from the June 15th to the 28th. The event goes from 4 PM to 8 PM, but I would ask for open containers from 4 PM to 10 PM. On those same, the 200 block of Spring Street, 200 block of Main Street.
So sales stop at 8 o'clock, but then you allow people there until 10?
Sales for the,
You approved the sales with the picnic fair or the temporary.
the sales will, for the Somerset United would stop, but they can still take their cup and go to Rendezvous or the Sportsman and back and forth.
Until 10.
And without getting in trouble after 10, it'd be hopefully a soft warning, like, hey, that's 10 o'clock, we don't allow containers anymore, and you get a habitual offender, then they violated the open container law.
Do we have to say to add that, or could you? To add that verbiage for the,
You
Time.
can say as recommended or suggested by Mike Kemper. Or yeah, I can read it to you. June 10th from 9 AM to 4 PM. On the 200 block of Spring Street and 200 block of Main Street. Market Fest, during Market Fest, it would be 4 PM to 10 PM, the same area.
As stated.
as stated,
And I'll second that motion. And no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Passed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Do you guys need anything from me as far as the Kennedy's beer and wine license or anything else, or can we get out of here?
you can get out of here. Usually by this point, you've already checked everything and everything's good.
Correct.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And
I'll get that over to you.
Sounds good. And we'll have Susie probably respond as well.
Okay,
She's got all her. He keeps the call going.
all right.
Thank you.
Thanks again, you guys.
Yep, I'm going.
Feedbacks.
How was that motion phrased to remove the rest of the meeting up? Did we
So
start?
you
by-
moved, no, you moved, D, E, F, and G to the beginning, so now you'd go back to A.
Yeah, we'll just go back to the new business.
So then new business,
This will be really fun. Not so much. This one's pretty much at this point, Chris, Joel has done all the legwork, checked everything's on the up and up. So, they usually will just make it as an emotion, unless you want to look into it more.
no, I've reviewed them all.
No,
Okay, so we have to read them all at once. but then-
no, you just do each one individually.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
That
right?
is- Yep. If one can make the motion and one can second, that makes it much easier, but there is one, condition on the is it under Somerset Foods or Dick's Fresh Market? They did not fill out the auxiliary questionnaire, so if you can say contingent upon
Completion.
completion of that.
Oh, the number 10, B10.
A13.
Oh, okay. I see there was one, is that gonna affect the B10 as well or not?
Nope,
Okay,
nope, his application is filled out fine for
Okay.
the agent. I have. Oh, and I changed this. I have an email of them to complete it. I'm just waiting for back. That's all.
Okay, so then. Let me see. So I will make a recommendation then to approve the original license application for Speedway for Class A beer and Class A liquor license.
Chris Marino, second.
And any discussion? No, do we do an all in favor for each one? Yeah, okay. Aye.
Unfortunately, aye.
Okay, and then let me make sure I'm on the right one here. Okay. So I will make a recommendation to approve the Class A beer and liquor license for ML Vanaz.
Chris Marino, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will recommend the Class B beer and Class B liquor license for Apple River Solutions.
LLC. Chris Marino, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will recommend the Class B beer and liquor license renewal for Quick Trip Inc.
Chris Marino, second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And I will recommend Class B beer and liquor license for renewal for General Sam's Inc.
Chris Marino, second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so here is a beer garden permit for General Sam's patio. And I will make a recommendation to approve that.
Chris Marino, second.
And no discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
This is for a Class B beer and liquor license renewal for Pat and Susan Ring LLC.
Chris Marino, second. Aye.
Sorry, aye. Beer, and then this is for the beer garden permit for the same applicant, Patrick Ring. And I'm sorry, I will make a motion to approve that.
Chris Marino, second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Class B beer and Class B liquor license renewal. I will make a recommendation to approve that for MAJ Inc.
Chris Marino, second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have the B and Class C wine liquor. I'm sorry. Yep, I did miss
That's
one.
the beer garden permit for MAJ.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will make a recommendation to approve the beer garden permit for MAG Inc.
Chris Marino, second.
And discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
And so I will make a recommendation to approve the Class B beer and Class B and Class B.
Oh, yeah. Class B beer and
liquor
Class B liquor.
license renewal for Summer Star Entertainment Inc.
Chris Marino, second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
For that, okay.
And that's
will-
also beer, Class B beer and Class C wine.
Gotcha. And I will make a recommendation
Yeah.
to approve the Class B beer and Class C wine license renewal for Kennedy's Cafe LLC.
Chris Marino, second.
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will make a recommendation to approve the Class A beer and Class A liquor license renewal contingent upon receiving the
Auxiliary questioning.
questionnaire. Thank you.
Mhm.
Chris Marino, second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And then I see another error. Good golly, I gotta pay more attention. For B, it should be 2023 to 2024 liquor license agent. I had the year as 2022 and nobody caught it until Sunday, so.
Yes, I need to be.
And it was on Facebook, somebody on Facebook. Oh, noticed that.
Yeah, see, that's normally the type of things I notice.
I know, you got the 8 to 10.
Know what the agents, do you have to still do singly?
Sorry, I think I'm a little bit out of order. There we go. Okay, so I will make a recommendation to approve Tracy, I'm sorry, Bottleson, for Speedway.
Chris Mayo, second?
And, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will make a recommendation to approve Brian Vanas for ML Vanas Inc.
Chris Mayo, second?
And any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And I will make a recommendation to approve Rebecca Newman for Apple River Solutions, that liquor license agent.
Chris Mayo, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we have, I will make a recommendation to approve Rebecca Newman, Allison Howard for Quick Trip Inc.
Chris Mayo, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we have, I will make a recommendation to approve John Monpettit for General Sands Inc.
Mario, second?
And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will make a recommendation to approve Patrick Ring for Patrick and Susan Ring LLC.
Chris Mario, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I will make a recommendation to approve Edward Sekas at MAJ Inc.
Chris Mario, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will make a recommendation to approve Eugene Laudier for Summer Star Entertainment Inc. or LLC, sorry.
Chris Mario, second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a recommendation to approve Mike Cappers for Kennedy's Cafe LLC.
Chris Mario, second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a recommendation to approve Doug Reinhardt for Dick's Fresh Market.
Chris Mario, second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Good job.
That
Yeah, that's a lot.
was fun. That's once a year, all right?
Yes, it's only once a year. Thank God.
Do it again in a week.
Right, yep.
Okay, so now we have C, discussion possible recommendation, temporary class B fermented malt beverages retailers license for Peace Soup Days for the Somerset Lions Club.
Chris Mario? I second.
Do you want to discuss it first?
Well,
No?
I think they
I
do a
don't-
great job. I don't have any concerns.
I don't either. Nope.
So I
You
get,
should say the date.
oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, in your motion, I think you read the agenda item and Chris seconded it.
Oh, sorry.
Am I right?
So can I say, I will make a recommendation?
Yeah.
And then the dates,
June 9th.
June 9th to June 11th, 2023.
Are you okay with them just having it 24 hours? I don't have any times on here.
Oh,
Not really.
good catch.
Should we
So,
make times for them or?
Sure.
You could say contingent upon time clarification or
Yeah.
approval of hours by police chief or something.
okay, and that way we don't have to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I rephrase the motion or can I just add that on?
I think you can add that on.
Okay, so I'm going to say regarding 4C that it is going to be contingent upon hours agreed upon with the police chief. Sound right?
Chris Mario, second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now we are on to municipal court budget report. To read that.
I didn't have anything, I don't know, I didn't. Have anything, but I looked over it. This one's just basically, we just look at it, right, we don't have to approve it.
Correct.
I didn't have any questions at all.
Okay. I don't see anything that jumps out either. So no approval needed, we just move on. Oh, good to know. Oh, yes, that's later in the agenda. Okay, so now we will look at the 2023 police budget report.
Yeah, all the time,
Yeah.
Yowza.
So
I suppose with,
3 people in FMLA,
right,
over the past 2 months.
so,
It's been,
Levi.
challenging. We don't even name names.
Right,
But, to protect their
sorry,
confidentiality.
right,
But, yeah, I think that's the major contributor. Some trainings, we're pretty training heavy in the first part of the year, which also,
Yeah.
when we're at training, typically it's OT for at least a few of them, whether it's someone covering the shift or the person working at that training, so,
or the travel time.
or the travel time.
how's that new, the new shifts seem to be, I just
Yeah.
started, I suppose.
Yep, it just started, last week and, it's,
Too early
it's
to
too
tell.
early to tell, yeah.
So are you, at this point, you're not too worried about the overtime? I mean, I obviously.
Not yet.
It's always-
Less worried than Andrea. Well, I mean, like our overall budget, we're right at 32%.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I mean, you have some cost savings with, unfortunately, with staff on FMLA.
Mhm.
So it should balance itself back out. And you're back to full staff. now,
Yes. As
So
of
how are you
yesterday.
doing as far as, for the training, are you pretty well? I mean, are you, I see you're like at 60% now, are you pretty well?
So a part of that, like I said, is we're a little front heavy with our training.
Right.
You know, it's not evenly distributed throughout the year. Another major contributing factor is, our ammo.
Oh,
We order ammo about a year in advance now, and it's just so far out that we're ordering in bulk. And, that's essentially going under our training budget, and it's coming in sporadically, and, so that's another contributing factor to that, but
totally understand.
we'll dial it back. I think we have a lot of, in-house trainings coming up, which is a little less of a sticker shock, and it's done with in-house instructors and other agencies around the area. So that'll be helpful.
Cool. I didn't have any other questions.
No, I don't think so.
Good.
Okay, we move on then to the police chief reports.
Yeah, I think the first part of that, was the April incident report, which is, back to Karen.
Mhm.
Essentially just lays out all the calls for service.
Yeah, at least you're not busy. Seem like you get any more upticks at all, or anything ever really stick out at all? Or like the past or anything, or?
Not really, I just. Like, I can say that we're busy, some issues are reoccurring issues that we're trying to address, you know, there's mental health everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Issues surrounding that, so. I guess I'll get into it like in the department activities, since the passing of Katie, the deputy that was murdered. on Saturday. We're doing all that we can to support the sheriff's office and their operational needs. So we've expanded to extend our coverage well into the township, and we've been responding and handling calls in the Somerset and surrounding areas. We've kind of bumped our staff to have a more complete coverage of 24 hours for at the very least the next 2 weeks. There's different shifts that our guys are signing up for regarding the logistics of proper burial and laying Katie to rest and respecting her. So we had a lot of folks yesterday. There's 4 of us that went to the procession, bringing her back to Baldwin, and that was a very emotional event. But yeah, just wanted to mention that we're stepping up as much as we can, where we can, and our guys are just really willing to help any way possible. Great. Reach out to the sheriff's office and the sheriff in particular to offer anything that we can do, and so the ball's in motion with that. Great. You know, outside of that, we're gearing up for the summer. Pea soup days. We got a lot of concert planning and meetings that we've been attending, and there's more in the near future. And we're gonna be back at full staff as of Monday, so yesterday. So we're still test driving the new schedule. We have a vacancy just because we switched to our summer schedule in the SRO position, still working the school year rotation. So there's still like a vacancy within the schedule that we're dealing with for the next 20 school days or whatever it is. The lights at the end of the tunnel for the students
In a couple of weeks.
yeah. So. Yeah,
Awesome. Good to hear that everybody's, that you guys are all coming together in such a hard time. Anything for, I'm sorry.
I guess something I'll just casually mention that it's not for sure yet, but there's some discussion with the school district surrounding funding for the SRO position. And whether or not, you know, it's gonna fit into their budget next year or not, and we're trying to come up with some creative solutions. We looked into applying for a COPS grant, community oriented policing grant. We missed that deadline by a few hours, so that we're not gonna get that this year. But again, it's just a preliminary discussion about if, when, and how. We found some other language that the school district might be able to be reimbursed for the SRO specifically through the Department of Public Education, so BPI.
Yeah. Or something with the American Rescue Plan.
Yeah, so essentially BPI is funding through ARPA to help cover the costs of SROs. So it's something I want to put on your guys' radar. Which we'd have to think through some contingency plans if that doesn't go through, whether or not, which I'm very much in favor of, is absorbing that 50%, the school pays 50% of the SRO position, including fringe and benefits. So we'd have to come up with, it's somewhere around 40,000-ish. To retain that officer and put him back into a road position. The school district, during my preliminary conversation, says that they're initially looking at like a 1-year hiatus, if anything, where there would be a gap in that position for a year. But again, I don't want to get anyone nervous. It's just going-
It's not a done deal with the school.
Correct.
Right, they're not gonna vote. It's just.
There hasn't been a vote.
possibility.
Yeah.
That kind of sign.
And it's not, this isn't the first time that this has been brought up. I mean, they're constantly moving and shuffling and renewing contracts and moving things around at the district level with money. So just something to be aware of.
Good to know.
It's kind of important, isn't
It is. Yeah. And so, and I assured the school district, you know, regardless of the direction this goes, we're very much committed to public safety. We're committed to the school district. We're committed to having a presence at the school district. You know, and there's different creative ways that we can get in there. And we would still assign a liaison to the PD and the school. So they have a direct point of contact. But, yeah, I think the community wants visibility at the school. And I would too.
it? I sure do.
My kids go there.
Yeah, mine is too.
Anything else regarding that item?
No, thank you.
Thank you for the update. So why don't we go ahead and move on to the police and court bills? Double check impact group is the IT. Yeah.
Not recall if you guys approved these or not. Remember?
You approve these, Chris? You just review them.
It's pretty good.
That all seems pretty clear.
Yes, I agree.
No question?
Okay. Moving to the future?
Did I put that on
Mhm.
there? Okay, then.
Future agenda?
I was curious about that too. I didn't have anything specific.
So it's something that was started last year, halfway
Yeah.
through the year. Just
It's
to
kind
get
of,
ideas for
kind of like,
items to discuss.
kind of like what Joel's kind of brought, well, I guess not really, but kind of just saying like, this is on the radar. type.
Right.
Mhm,
You know, between now and next meeting, there might be an SRO topic
right,
that's put on the agenda, but I don't think it's an agenda item yet.
okay.
And I
And
can,
it can be left going quickly.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, I'll second that motion.
6:48.
All in favor?
Sorry. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Adjourn.